Them deserted him and fled. Tonight we incorporate the Last Supper, Holy Communion, the Eucharist, the great sacred ritual that connects us viscerally with the cosmic reality of which we are part. Tonight we are reminded through this experience that we are more than mortal flesh, that life is more than what the five senses seek, and that the incarnation of the Anointed One is to help us all find that we are incarnations of spirit, that our deepest potential is not as mere frail human beings, but as sons and daughters of the uncreated, children of the universe. And this communion is meant to link us to all things, just like quantum physics tells us life really is. But to bring us that reality, to expose us to it, something astonishing had to happen. This holy man who was the bridge to this transcendent light, to this authentic communication and encounter with the Holy One, with Spirit, with the Spirit realm, so much so that it came through him as benediction to others. This image of pure goodness, pure forgiveness, of one so unlike the culture of humanity, broke all the rules that were unmerciful for the great rule of God's mercy. This incarnation of compassion, of unconditional love, here to show us how to become that, not to be worshiping it merely, but to become it, the firstborn of many. This goodness was betrayed. Now I'm going to ask each of you to bring into your heart, your mind, an episode when you were betrayed. For I know that there does not exist a person who has not suffered betrayal. A friend, a loved one, a parent. We all have our own stories of horrific pain called betrayal. Be there now with that pain, because it is that pain that is inflicted on the one who only came to reveal goodness and mercy. We can empathize with the reality of that painful we have tasted. But what is even more shocking is that this narrative of what happens, this teaching, tells us that we have all betrayed him. Every time we betray goodness, mercy, forgiveness, Christ is betrayed again. Don't put it all on Judas. This is an image of humanity. And we must face that reality. You remember when you were betrayed and how terrible it was and how life-destroying. Remember now that we betray that which is the ultimate good every time we behave in those self-absorbed, petty ways that we think are okay, when in fact they are the Garden of Gethsemane. I found this cross recently. I find it especially powerful. You see, it is made out of nails, 9-inch nails, the very nails that went through his hands. The horror of this represents what it means to betray goodness. We have all done that. And the crown of thorns, the mockery of the sacred, the hurtful rejection of others not like us, is the crucifixion of God once again in our lives. This is not long ago, this is right now. These nails are psychological, because you know how awful that pain of betrayal is. And when goodness and compassion and self-transcendence comes to us and say, won't you pray with me a while? Won't you help me be here? Won't you live with me in the tragedy of this life? We all stay asleep. And we are given that clue that 3 times he returned to the disciples, to his most trusted disciple. In Hebrew mystical teaching, 3 times, as you've heard me say, is fully and completely. A message in a bottle to us right now. We fully and completely betrayed. And we know in our heart of hearts, in our conscience, when that happens, that bit of mean-spiritedness, that nasty trait, that dark habit we allow to run wild or to take over. These are not small things. These are the reason for tonight. For he came to free us from that, so that all of us could rise above it and no longer betray the good and the beautiful, but instead become the good and the beautiful. So each of us in our own way is Judas, betrayed with a kiss. We who call ourselves Christians, we who love spiritual books, we who want to do good, we who think we're wonderful people, that is the kissing of Jesus, the kissing of that which is godly. And we express that, and then we go home and forget all about it, fall asleep again. And that which we claim we love is alone in sorrow. And friends, that sorrow is not for himself. It is for you. It is for me. It is for each human being. And to each of us in our tragedy, in our difficulty, he joins us all the way. And then he teaches us, suffering our suffering, knowing what betrayal means, knowing what not being understood means, knowing what being all alone means. He then gives us the secret of the ages. Not my will, but thy will be done. And He transcends all that pain that we know so well, to center Himself, to give Himself to that which is greater than He is, so that each of us can know what the path is, to get beyond ourselves and our suffering and become goodness and love to others. That is the healing of our suffering and the purpose of our lives. So this narrative of long ago is a timeless, universal truth. Let us not take for granted, let us not dismiss our failures before the Holy. Not to feel bad about ourselves. Maybe sometimes we have to weep like Peter at the bottom of those stairs, desperate. But then what did Peter do? He got back up and became one of the great personages of humanity in giving of his love. So this is not condemnation. This is just putting a mirror up to our reality, making us face the truth that we are part of this today, 2013, when we mistreat others, and the whole litany of rejection and despising and putting ourselves above others. I told you this would be personal. It must be personal. This did not happen once upon a time. It is centered in your existential life, in your mistakes, in your pain, for the purpose not of judging but of saving, of showing you the way out. Imagine if you can let go of your personal tragedies and the injustices done to you as they are done to Him. Because they're done to Him, you can let go of them and rise up to that human being, God-centered, surrender, a channel of benediction from on high. That is why we are here tonight. That is why we receive communion on this first communion night. Let it be the first time for you who have taken it 1,000,000 times. It is the manifestation of divine life giving itself to you. Amen.